Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Got something for you. Don't go away. I'm wondering if everyone is listening. Dovete capiete. Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Hello. Well, welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. How is everyone doing today? I hope you guys are having an amazing time. Here in London, Ontario, it's on the positive. We're not anymore minus degrees. We're actually having a spring kind of early day. It's beautiful. I wish I could show you, but it's stunning. There's a lot of snow. There's a pile of snow, but it's sunny. It's beautiful. It's stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. So, how is everyone doing today? We're having a fantastic live today. We're having our guest, our VIP guest, Crystal Crawford. Who's Crystal Crawford? She is a certified facilitator of Access Consciousness, and she's my partner. And not because I am her partner, she's my partner, but she's one of the most brilliant person I've met. And her kindness and her big heart makes a very important part of my life. There's a lot happening right now, and we are here today to deliver an interesting topic, and it's about financial abundance. And we wanted to ask Crystal some questions so we get her perspective on abundance, because it hasn't always been that way. But I did prepare some questions. I'm gonna bring her in just to say hello. Let's see where you are. Is that you? Where are you? Hi, Renata. Hope you're having a good day. How is California today? Hola, hermana. Te quiero mucho. Where are you, my Crystal? Let me see you, so I touch the screen. If you were to text me, I will be able to see you. Is that Crystal that I was saw there? Oh, really? Beautiful day in California as well. Here in London, Ontario is stunning. It's beautiful. I actually did not wear any socks today, and this is all I wear outside. So, beautiful day as well. And then Chantel, hi. I'm glad you're joining us. Okay. Oh, why is it that? Oh, because it hasn't been more than 15 minutes. Okay. Well, maybe what we can do is we can ask Crystal to join us here at the studio, and we're gonna ask some questions. We're gonna ask her right away. Well, we bring her here, and then we have some questions. Hey,
did you have questions for me?
I did.
Hi, everybody. I can't get it to work.
Okay. It's okay.
But I live upstairs, so.
We're here. But it seems like it's beautiful weather everywhere.
Oh my God, it's so pretty. You made this so beautiful down here. I was like, is that our kitchen?
Oh yeah, you know what? Likes the studio right now. It used to be a kitchen.
Hi guys. Okay.
How you feeling today?
I'm
You look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Stunning as usual.
Thank you.
Want to date me later?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, that's settled. I wanted to ask you, Crystal, and it's a topic about relationship with money. How was your relationship with money before Access?
Oh my goodness. Well, a lot of you guys know my story. I mean, before Access, what was I doing? So right before Access, I was doing a couple of things. I had to think back. I was waitressing and I was bartending and I was also working as a landscape designer. So anyway, my relationship with money in a very short nugget was like, there was a ceiling, like a glass ceiling to what I could create. And then beyond that, I didn't know how to get past it. I thought you had to go to school and go to university and da-da-da. And I didn't want to do any of that. So it was ceilinged badly.
Gotcha. Could anyone tell me if sound is okay when Crystal is talking? Is it clear? Or do we need to put the microphone?
Do I need to speak closer? Yeah, you know what? We could do this.
We could do this.
This side.
Yeah, okay.
Yay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Now, tell me, what's your favorite book? Oh my God, so many favorites.
Every Access book ever in the history of books. Seriously, I read and I'm a devout follower of the Access books. Not follower, I just study them because the tools have changed my life totally. That's terrible. I can't give you one answer to that.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Renata.
Okay, good.
Now, after Access, what was the change with the relationship with money?
Everything's changed. I've probably 15 times my annual income. Everything's good. Just everything's changed. I could make money, and I don't even know where to start with that. Just everything.
General, my understanding was it was a little bit of a rough path trying to, find sources of incomes, and it was more like working and being employed, and then you found Access, and then it was fun to have money. And
well, the thing that really changed money for me was that I wanted to change the way I was living. And I think this is kind of part of the piece that people miss, is that when humanoids actually need, and if you're watching this and you judge yourself in any way, you're very likely a humanoid. Humanoids need reasons to create. So Gary says, it shouldn't be that way, but it is. We need reasons for money, because we don't really care about money that much. We can live without it. We can survive without it. We're fine. So what changed money for me was the way I wanted to live. I went from being okay with working a restaurant job, which is not 9 to 5. That's like 5 to midnight. The other 5 to 9. And so I went from that and having to be at a brick and mortar place all the time to wanting to travel the world and go to all these classes and have this freedom of location that I didn't know how to do. And so that's what changed money for me, because I started to ask, well, what would it take? What would it take to actually have this? And when you start to ask that about anything, the universe starts to show you. It's like when you start to ask, how does it get any better for everything? The universe constantly is showing you how it gets better. So that's what actually changed money for me, is I wanted to change the way I was living. And I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know how to move from being a waitress, a former landscape designer waitress person, to working on my computer from anywhere there was internet. How do you make that jump period? So I just started asking, what would it take? Somebody said, well, just start asking, what would it take? And I was like, okay. And so I started asking, and then, that's thing by thing by thing started to show up, and that's what started to change money for me, not the other way around. Not I'm transforming my financial reality, but more I need 20 grand a month to go do the things I want to do. My living has changed. What I want to do with my life has changed. And that was the motivating factor, I guess, to even ask for something else.
Beautiful, Ed. And that's very correlated with this morning reading. By the way, the fact that I was reading at 3:30 in the morning doesn't mean that I don't.
He was up at 3:30 this morning.
It's normal. I'm just waking up at that time. I'm poorly.
I got really grumpy this morning. That's a relationship conversation we'll save for another time.
But I was reading that one of the big contributions to yourself is start the day with a question, and every project or every new initiative that you have, give yourself the contribution to start the day with a question.
Yeah.
Hi, Star.
Hi, Star.
And then that question will just ask, and the universe somehow will respond.
Well, it's this weird thing that ask and receive actually works, and it's it got hidden in the Bible somewhere, meaning it kind of gets lumped into, well, this is just religion, but it actually works that way. It's when you ask, you can receive. You receive. When you ask, you receive. That's how that works. So it isn't, but it's not a cognitive reality, it's an energetic reality. So we don't know how to explain how it works because there is no explaining how it works.
Well, it was there in the book. It was actually a part that says when someone is trying to answer these questions or try to understand what the cognitive meaning of the question, they just fuck it up.
Yeah.
Big time. It does not work at all.
Because thoughts, thinking, and feelings and emotions and no sex, which is no receiving, are the lower harmonics of being, knowing, perceiving, and receiving. Now, that's very brainy, but it's basically like when you go into thinking, you're being less than what you could actually be, which is just being aware. But we don't know how to function that way. Like, were you given lessons on how to be an aware being?
Not at all. Until I opened those books, and I'm like, oh, yes, welcome.
Yeah, so we weren't given a manual, we weren't given the education, we were given the education on like how to think and compute and judge and all that. So when you come into the access world, it's like everything gets lighter, but you can't explain it. Like, how do you explain? You can't, right? So you just have to start using it. So for all of you guys that are wanting a change in your world, there's two things that I'd recommend, just at least at this point in the conversation, which is, one, what else could you ask for or choose in terms of your living that would give you the reason and the justification to have more? And like, on that note, you know how I'm always looking at like new places to live, even though...
My goodness.
Okay.
Yes, like every day?
Every day.
Like twice per day?
And we love this house, and I'm adding to this house all the time. But I always come back down and I'm like, oh, I was looking for new places. Why? Because I'm looking for what else is possible. I'm always just, is this possible? Is this possible? Is it time? Is there more? Is there... So you want to look at what you can add to your living that would give you the reason and justification to ask more. And two, start asking, what would it take for fill in the blank to show up?
Super powerful, by the way. 18 months ago, it was totally different, but right now, just in those principles, all it takes is ask the question and just do the things that you have to do. Universe responds. It just give you the answer right away. Beautiful. This is a beautiful topic, and I wanted to ask you this: define clarity.
Oof. For what reason? No, but tell me more about...
All right, so I was having a conversation with someone this morning, and during a session we were talking about gaining clarity in the morning. So one of my daily routines is I prepare myself. I do my best to make a little stronger of me, and have a little bit of concentration, some reading. It starts very early in the morning. Some workout, something that makes me a better person. At the end of that routine, I'm more clear. I know where I am, and I know where I want to go. But you seem to have a lot of that. Routine is very broad, and you find clarity. And
I do it different. Yeah, I can do routine. I actually do like. I mean, I almost always have coffee. I rarely ask my body. I just do yes to coffee. There are some things that I do routine, but I more follow the energy, which is very, very interesting to put into words how you do that. So I will go where my attention is pulled next. But tell me more about what you're looking at with the conversation.
So one of the readings this morning taught me that a good way to find clarity wasn't making declarations. It was more like asking questions. Start your day with asking a question and asking a series of questions, and then you clear a lot of doubts that you have or worries, or help you to center in the daily activities. But you leave to the universe kind of the question that, what's in it for me? What will it take? How does it get better?
I do something different. I function from a different question, I'm realizing as we're talking. That I function from where's my attention required today. And I actually I've been in a lot of classes with Gary Douglas lately. I just recertified as a certified facilitator, and I've taken 2 of his telecalls in the last month. I've done a lot with Gary. And that was one of the things he was talking about when it comes to developing your business, is like, you want to get up in the morning and ask, where's my attention required today? And I sort of naturally... I've heard him say that, but I sort of naturally went there because I started having so much going on that I had to. And that's the thing is like when you start getting enough happening in your world, which is Gary's always like with humanoids get, 17 things going at the same time, you start driving fast, which means your focus does soft focus, and you then have to then function from, awareness instead of conclusion. So I do something a little bit different. And when I'm looking for the thread for the day, or like looking for where the energy is moving, a lot of times like I'll pull up my Kindle, I'll jump into the reference materials, I'll open some material that sort of sparks things in my world, and that will either generate a new idea or it will ping me that something needs my attention. So I'll generate energy sometimes the energy is already there and like people are pulling at you and you just know you're required there. Sometimes it's a lot of space and you are the generator of the energy for that day. And so you've got to go looking for what is matching the energy and what can you sort of travel on for that day. So that's sort of...
Oh, interesting. Like, amazing. Amazing. You said something earlier. Oops, sorry about it. But you said something earlier and it's extremely interesting. And it's with the topic about that you care for yourself. Your care for yourself is transformative.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's more beyond that. It's also, this beautiful lady said, the care you're willing to give yourself can be a source of
change and transformation in the world. The care you're willing to give yourself can be a source of change and transformation in the world. Well, what were we looking at with this? We were looking at, oh my goodness. So transforming your financial reality is about being the source of the change and the transformation that you are. When you're willing to start being the source of that, and that's what you're starting to see as you're stepping out and being the gift that I already knew you were, to all these incredible people, all of you guys that are here are starting to get the gift that he is in your lives as well, right? All of us are a gift in that way, even if we don't know it, and most of us don't. Like I had to start asking like 3 years ago, universe, show me the gift of me, because I totally didn't get it. Everyone else was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. So most of us don't know we're a gift, and yet we are. But so when you're willing to be that out in the world, money shows up. It's weird, and it's easy. It's too easy. So the epiphany that followed that whole awareness was, it's the care you're willing to give yourself that becomes a source of change, and can become a source of change and transformation in the world. For example, when you are willing to care for yourself financially, that can be a source of change and transformation, not just for you, but for other people. Because how many people are actually willing to be that for themselves, right? As you begin to care for yourself in all these different ways, and you tell somebody about it, you now become a source of change and transformation in the world, and that can transform your financial reality if you choose. But I think that's what I was looking at with you, is like, you have always made all these choices to care for yourself, which contributed so much to me coming into your life, and then creating what we've created here, and then changing your whole, business reality into one of doing it for yourself, and me seeing that, hey, you do this really naturally, you can do this for other people. And there's been this kind of generative element running through since I met you that has stemmed from the care that you've given yourself. Because as I've seen you do that, I was like, that, you could use that. So I guess that was sort of the bigger point of like anything, it's hand in hand with anything you do so naturally you don't think you can get paid for, along with, hey, the care that you naturally give yourself, the naturalness with which you care for your body, or the naturalness with which you care for your art pieces, or your house, or your whatever. Like, you can extrapolate that out to a billion different applications, can be a source of change and transformation. And when you're willing to be that, money follows.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've lived it.
You're living it.
I'm living it, and hey, it's there. It's coming. The way I've seen it happening is, I like to take care of myself and the much as I can. The more I can do, I feel better. And what you said, that kind of, if you're taking care of yourself financially, therefore you're kind of opening the doors for all the financials in your life to come and fill me, and people around me, money start appearing, start showing up. And then, is that something that we could have called probably abundance?
Right. And I think the thing to recognize about abundance is, first of all, there's a lot of different points of view out there about what abundance is, and that's floating around the metaphysical world quite actively. But you've got to look at what abundance is for you. You know, and you and I haven't really spoken about this a lot, but I hear it in different snippets in the way we talk about things, in that abundance for us includes so many different things. It's money, yeah, but that's not the brunt of it. It's what we have together. It's the home we have. It's the Luna that we have. It's the family out, you know, it's the people in our lives. It's the experiences we have. Abundance is so multifaceted. So yes, it's a simple answer to your question, and I also lost the point. We were talking about...
No, the abundance, if it's related with the care of yourself.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely,
the finances.
Absolutely, and that's yeah, totally. Man, and so much awareness with that taking care of. I'm gonna segue onto the taking care of thing, just and lose track completely.
Sure.
I went to a class with Shannon O'Hara, and I think it was a Talk to the Entities Advanced class, which why this came up there, who knows. But, you know, one of the things that she talked about with us was, are you caring for you? And look, as I know a lot of humanoids, you're rare. You have cared for you in a lot of different ways that I've never met anybody else who has. So just so you guys know, he came in that way. Adding access tools to you is this beautiful addition, but you are already doing that. Most humanoids don't do that, right? As you guys probably know, having been one, are one. And for me, like, there were so many areas of my life that I had let go to seed. You know, if you're going to talk in gardening terms, so much of my life was just like needed a good plow. We just needed to plow that thing under and like replant it. So when Shannon, you know, talked about this, are you caring for yourself? I looked across my life, and this was like 2.5 years ago, so not that long. And I was like, wow, I'm not caring for this. I'm not caring for this. I'm just going from pillar to post and just, it'll take care of itself. I'm just surviving. So that was a real invitation to me to start just changing it, like making different choices. And I did. I went home and I really looked at my finances. And I was like, okay, what would taking care of myself be like here? And there was so much awareness instantly. And so ask that question, or don't if you don't want to do it. But like, that's a great question. It's like, what would taking care of myself would this be like? And then that's when I realized I needed bank accounts and this and that professional and this system. And so what would taking care of myself, what would taking care of my body be like? What would taking care of my life be like? What would taking care of my relationship be like? And that's, honestly, that's a lot of where I function from with you and I, of like, because I have my, today I was so grumpy. And, you know, of course he's my everyday, so he gets the brunt. But what brings me back into something that's more generative is like, care for what we have. Not the total discard of what we have, but actually caring for it. And so that continues to generate our lives personally, but also to others, and my finances for sure. So that's my whole point.
I noticed actually a big change, because it was hard to talk to you before about taxes and to talk about
I'm not defensive.
debt, credit as well. So
debt.
Then something, one day we had a conversation, and then you shifted, and then you kind of tighten the belt and say, okay, well, this is happening. That was a big change. That actually made you grow way more of what you already are.
Yeah, well, the thing I've noticed about when you do finally choose to take care of is that that's you committing to you. We talk in Access a lot about like committing to your life, which is kind of this conceptual commit to your life and it'll all work out, you know. But when you really start to take care of you, that's you committing to you, of like, this is mine. This is mine to care for, you know. It's not somebody else's. It's not going to accidentally happen to me. This is my job and my responsibility. I have an ability to respond to this, and I have the capacity, and I want to have something different here. I want to thrive here. I want to actually not have that niggling sense in the back of my world. You know, what would it be like to actually have total peace with money? Came from, what would it take to care for me?
That's just right there.
So that's that. I guess when you were talking about abundance, that for me is that sense of abundance. Like that caring for me is that richness. When I'm truly caring for me, I am abundant. I am and I know me. I'll never let me fall. I'm never gonna let me, I'm never gonna let me fall.
You're the source.
I'm the source. Yeah.
That stays right here. And I remember when you told me you are the source, not the one who wants to be your employer and make them follow your shift. They can go tomorrow, but what remains is you. You're the source of yourself. You're never going to let yourself down. And I always remember that. And it's beautiful.
We were sitting right here. I remember that conversation.
This is our couch where we have a lot of chats.
Yeah.
Well, we're heading into the end of this, but I wanted to ask you if it's okay to tell us a little bit about your expansion plans. I know we're going into maybe Spanish culture or something like that.
Yeah, well, so expansion plans for Crystal Crawford CF land are very non-linear, but one of the things that's definitely happening is we are actively expanding into Spanish, and so we have a logo, Crystal Crawford CF in Espanol. So yeah, Spanish for sure, and also languages.
Hold on, that means if someone is here and it does not really feel strong with the English because it's too fast or is it hard to comprehend,
sí,
they're gonna have it in español.
En español.
Very pronto.
Sí.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a book coming, one of many that are like halfway done, and the team is expanding, and we're really looking at creating this business into the resource that it is, right? So that anything that you need, you can find here.
No, amazing. Well, I want to read it now. Can I read it?
You
now?
haven't read it.
Well, that was amazing. Thank you for the contributions. Thank you for this. I mean, we all appreciate it. This is our group.
Yeah.
You're a big part of this group. There she is. She's a big contributor of this group. And it's fundamental stone of this group and this the movement, what we have today. Financial intelligence.
I love this movement, and it was partly my idea, but it was generated from the energy that he is, which is this constant interest in being intelligent financially. And you're always researching and watching things, and I'm like, I don't think this is called healing credit easy. I think this is more like generating financial intelligence. And there's a real thrust right now in access, but just in general with people who are choosing consciousness to really institute, something different financially. So I'm so glad that you're doing this, and I'm so glad to be a part, because I think it's amazing.
No, thank you. I just to give you the sort of experience that I've been living with this. Out of the last 4 sessions I had, 3 of those 4 sessions, they came back to me and say, I don't know what happened, but just the fact that we uncovered these financial things, that it was heavy for me. It changed my life. I started making money already. I start getting checks from the government, or bonuses, or more clients. So it seems like when people really want to take care of their finances, everything opens up in the universe, and that's what we're promoting with this movement. It's getting into that motion of take care of yourself. You may not be able to do certain things, but at least you can learn. You can educate yourself. You can become intelligent in the financial aspect.
And one of the things I would just invite you guys to do, since we're wrapping up, is educate yourself on what abundance is for you. This is the same question you have to ask yourself about success. What's success for me? What's abundance for me? It's a generic term until you start to bring it home for you. And does your idea of abundance include money yet? Could it? And what could that be like? And what would it take for what you want to have as living to show up with total ease?
That's beautiful. That's actually amazing. I always thought about that way. My abundance is a different meaning. We found one together, but you have a different one. What kind of advice, finally, would you give everyone out there, including people that will see this at another time, that had this idea that they're gonna be rich by investing into cryptocurrency?
I would say just, what would I say about that?
Let me help you with
Help
this.
me help you.
There is several people that has approached me lately, and there's more and more and more. And actually, I have a 2.5 hours conversation today with my friend, and I know he needed someone to talk to, and I was busy as crazy, but I felt it. And he was into, hey, I have the savings of my life, but I read that if I invest into cryptocurrency, then I'm gonna be rich. Which one you recommend? And then I'm like, oh, stop! Hey,
Hold on, cowboy.
the horses! What are we doing? So by 2 questions I asked, I totally understood that he was going to be probably expelled from his house, evicted, because he had no idea how to invest. And then the topic of the day is we have a lack of
Education.
Education. Let's call it. We found the word the other day. Illiteracy.
Oh, it's financial illiteracy.
So there is exactly what's happening. So we hear from the group that cryptocurrency.
I hear this is going to be big. What should I do?
Oh my God, let's invest and then let's borrow some money or do something. Watch out with that one. I'm going to start a series of educational courses, and they're going to be here on live, and they're about cryptocurrency. So before you jump, if that's what you decided already, let's hear out a little bit what's beyond and behind all these new technologies.
And what I would add, thank you for that, because what I would add to that is just always get that there's two kind of things to occur with anything, and one is to educate yourself. Educate yourself on everything you could possibly know about a thing, whatever that is. Being an entrepreneur and systems to support your business with banking. Blah, 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 and cryptocurrency. If cryptocurrency is interesting to you, educate yourself. The second thing is to always function from awareness, meaning if you pre-decide that something's going to be great, you will fuck yourself, because you will not be able to see anything other than, this is going to be great, it's going to turn out great, it'll turn out perfect, and then you go sleep with her and she's crazy, right? Because you don't get your awareness before you sleep with her. You gotta get your awareness before you sleep with her if you want to have happiness in the morning, okay? The same is true of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency and sex, how they're similar. That would be a new life. But it's true, right? So if you pre-decide something's going to be great, then you will end up being at the effect of your decision. So you always want to practice awareness with this stuff, meaning, what will my life be like in 5 years if I choose this, yes or no? And what will my life be like in 5 years if I don't choose this, yes or no? Which I think could be a whole other live awareness with investments.
It'll so fast that, you can do 5 years, you can do a month, but that's an important point.
Right.
It's at least a step in front of a computer and trying to see exactly what cryptocurrency
That's
means.
going to turn out great.
And then, get that energy.
Yeah.
What are you going to bring to my life? Like,
So you're going to educate us.
I mean, I have that kind of desire at this moment.
And you've been studying it, because I come down at 3 a.m. and guess what he's watching on? It's all cryptocurrency. Anyway, so I'm excited that you're doing that, and I can add the awareness pieces if that's ever a contribution. But cool.
Let's do it. So I'll hope you see you all there. Coming for more financial education is here, is with us. We want to say thank you.
And thank you guys for being
much.
here. And if you have friends that you know would benefit from being a part of this movement of really increasing our financial literacy, being something different in the world, and transforming our financial, our own realities, invite them, and we'd love to have them too. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you, Manuela.
Bye, you guys.